Hello, you guys, and welcome here. My name is Karina Ganglani, and I am an intuitive astrologer as well as a heartist. If you're curious about what a heartist is, it's basically someone who puts their heart into their art, someone who creates art through, authentic self-expression and our intuition. So, I am a heartist. I love claiming that title. If you are a heartist too, welcome. Heartists Unite. And I'd love to share with you a short little story and then something really cool. So, my first love before I started diving deep into astrology and spirituality and coaching has always been music. I've loved music so much ever since I was little. I would learn lyrics of songs, I would sing them, I would record myself singing them. Um, and as a Taurus moon, I always have music playing in the background. I love discovering new music. I love independent artists and indie music. I don't get as excited about a song when it's playing on the radio, and once it's become mainstream, blame it on my Aquarius fifth house. But I love music with a passion. So that kind of gave me an idea. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but yesterday it just really hit me. So I was listening to a Maroon 5 song. So I was listening to Adam Levine. And I had a realization because Coldplay is coming here soon. Coldplay is going to be here on the 19th and I believe the 20th of January. I'm so excited to see them live. And so Coldplay is going to be here. And it just had me thinking, hey, wait a second. Adam Levine and Chris Martin, they have similarities, and maybe not physical similarities, but the way they sing, like there are such similarities. Because I was thinking about, I think I was listening to She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5. And then I was thinking about Every Teardrop is a Waterfall and just all of Coldplay songs. And I was just like, hey, similarities everywhere. Let's pull up their charts. So I actually pulled up their charts and I've been studying them since yesterday and their music. And I would love to share with you what I have found because I'm such an astro nerd and this makes me so excited. So I hope it's going to make you as excited as it makes me. Okay, so let's do it. First, let's talk a bit about Adam Levine and Maroon 5 because Adam Levine is almost the entire personality of the band. Of course, the band is so important. The music that they write is so important. The instruments that they play is so important. But without the front man, a band is so different. So let's talk about Adam Levine. Really interesting because some of my favorite Maroon 5 songs are not the more common ones, not Moves Like Jagger, you know, not necessarily. I'm looking over here at their top 10 popular songs. So few of these are my favorites. So we have Maps, Payphone, Moves Like Jagger, Memories, This Love, Sugar, Animals, She Will Be Loved, of course, all-time fave for a lot of people, One More Night, and Beautiful Mistake. However, some of my favorite ones are Fortune Teller from Overexposed. And let's see, I do love Payphone a lot, but I love their old school singles. I also love like Never Gonna Leave This Bed, Somebody. I love Somebody. Beautiful Goodbye is pretty good. And I'm referencing their older songs because this is when I was a huge Maroon 5 fan, rather. I really liked let's see. Just a Feeling is pretty good. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I really loved Won't Go Home Without You because that was back when to go to sleep, I would put my TV on. I would put MTV on sleep timer. And I just remember that music video coming on so often. And since those days, right, Maroon 5 has changed so much. Their voice, their personality, the way they show up as a brand, the kind of things they sing about. Although there will always be girls in there, and this aching of girls, and she will be loved, and never gonna leave this bed, and this love, and beautiful goodbye, and daylight. When the daylight comes, we'll have to go. And so I'm like, okay, what is going on with Adam Levine and his chart? So let me tell you, and I'll put it up here as well. But let me share with you what I noticed. He has a Pisces sun. We can tell. We can tell, right? He talks about love, but doesn't really understand love so big, but he talks about it. And then he has a moon in Scorpio. Whoa. That's a Scorpio moon, so that's a double water sign. And it's conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is all about like breaking boundaries, creating new things. It's breakthroughs, it's ideas, it's things that haven't been done before. And we definitely see Maroon 5 doing things that haven't been done before, creating music like music has never been created before. It's quite incredible, really. And then he has Leo rising. Of course, all of these guys or all of these artists that play a front role have some kind of fire rising or some kind of fire in their big three. So he has a Leo rising. And then he has Venus in Aquarius. I find this interesting because he's had a lot of collaborations with different people, and they jive together. The way they sing together, it's kind of like he changes his um, way of singing to match their way of singing rather than bringing them in and them matching his way of singing. Does that make sense? So it's like multiple different genres. Like he'll rap, he'll do a bit of R&B, he'll do pop, he'll do rock. Of course, their basic was always rock, but he is playful, about creating his music. He has Mercury in Aries, so he says things like they haven't been said before, which allows each of us to tap into that within us that we're like, nobody sees us. He's leading it, and he's like, I see you. Um, his Mars is in Pisces. So this influences his sun as well, which is in Pisces. And Pisces, again, it's this water sign. It's this sign that brings all of us together. It's the reminder that we all have one source and we're all pulling from the same source. And it's very creative and very romantic, but at the same time, not able to understand what exactly is going on because it's all about feeling it, which is why these guys have to feel it and then write songs about it and sing about it and express it. They are master expressors because Pisces, they actually go through the emotions and then they sing about the emotions. He has Jupiter in Cancer. This is interesting because Cancer is a feminine sign. It's retrograde at 29 degrees. That's funny because that's the exact degree of my Mercury. So maybe this is why I always really enjoyed listening to Maroon 5 because I felt like he got me, he understood me. His music, their music resonated with my heart, especially as a young girl. I was like, oh my God, I love this music and I can't wait to experience things like these in my life. Things like this and like these. And I also love that he sings I'm never gonna leave this bed because Cancer is like loves to be under the covers, loves to be at home, loves to be comfortable, and it's just so perfect for this song. I'm also trying to think of a few more songs that I might want to pull in, like Payphone. We see Payphone in his Venus in Aquarius. He's at a payphone trying to call home all of the change he spent on her. Um, and then he has Chiron in Taurus, which means that maybe he's like looking for stability, but not really able to find stability because with Chiron and Taurus, ultimately what we want is this sense of worthiness, this sense of boundaries. And maybe he never feels um as worthy as he can feel, which would be crazy because this guy is incredible and creates some amazing music for the world to relate to and resonate with. So then I also looked at north and south nodes. So we're not going in deeper into like Saturn and into the deeper planets, but this is more the personal planets and how it's showing up in the music that they sing. So North Node is in Virgo, South Node is in Pisces. So South Node is close to his Sun and his Mars. And South Node is basically an integration point. So something that um, we can see a lot of in his music. And then North Node is what he's moving towards in this lifetime. So the way that his music is shifting and changing, I feel it started with a lot, South Node, it started with a lot about himself because the South Node is with the Sun. So it started about saying about himself and his feelings and the way he sees things inside. But now it's moving from that, turning that into his sense of devotion and into his energetic beginning to move towards service, to sing about, different things happening in this earthly realm because Virgo is planet Earth, Mama Earth. And how amazing is it that the last song that they released was a single that was released on May 19, 2023, right before the nodes shifted. And it's called Middle Ground. It's called Middle Ground. And there is a part of the lyrics that says, sisters and brothers are picking sides, and both of our mothers are terrified, and I'm crying out to an empty sky. That's Pisces. That's the devotion of still crying out, even though it's an empty sky. It's praying for your voice to be heard. It's sharing your art, sharing your voice so that people around the world realize that we're all the same. We're all going through these same things. We're all having these same emotions, and we can experience it together. We don't have to experience it alone. We can listen to music and feel seen and feel heard and understand that we are understood because we are all human at the end of the day. So that's a bit for Adam Levine. It's so nuts. I'm trying to think like maps. How does maps make sense? Or where does maps play into this? Maybe that North Node in Virgo, maps, following the maps that lead to you. Um, Venus in Aquarius could also talk about many different lovers or many different kinds of lovers because it's Aquarius. Aquarius is eccentric, unique, open to anything. Maybe multiple lovers at one time. That also is a Venus and Aquarius thing. Very trailblazing in the way that he communicates with that Mercury in Aries. And with that Scorpio moon, um, it's like if someone breaks his heart, he has to sing about it and then he can cut them out. Like first I need to sing and get it out and then he can cut them out. And I think it's so cool actually that he is a front man and that he is like a lead singer with this Scorpio moon because he's able to kind of keep this distance between his inner life and his personal life and what he presents out to the world as a Leo rising. That's so cool to have both of those in the big three. Okay, so that's Adam Levine. Let's move on over to Coldplay and to Chris Martin. This one's pretty exciting because Coldplay is going to be in Manila again on January 19. So let's talk about some of Coldplay's popular songs. Why don't we? Okay, so top 10 on Coldplay's popular songs would be Yellow, Viva La Vida, Something Just Like This, Sparks, A Sky Full of Stars, The Scientist, Christmas Lights, Fix You, Paradise, and Hymn for the Weekend. Coldplay is freaking incredible. I mean, Coldplay, right? The the way that Chris Martin sings, the way that they put on a show, the meaning behind their songs, their innovation, the way they innovate, the way their music changes with the times. It's so cool. Clearly, you can see my my music nerd geeking out over here right now. So we have what really stood out to me, you guys, because I was like, fuck, I knew it. Chris Martin has Sun in Pisces as well. They both have Sun in Pisces. Adam Levine has it at 27 degrees, so a bit later in Pisces, while Chris Martin has it at 12 degrees, so a bit earlier in Pisces, learning to, express this emotion, understand love. What is love? But how can I still sing about love? Whereas Adam Levine is more like, okay, I know about love, dropping you now, dropping you now. But I find it mind blowing. And then this is also incredible. He has his moon in Leo conjunct Saturn. So adding, discipline to this creativity, inner creativity. And again, a similarity because Adam Levine has Leo rising. Chris Martin has Leo moon. So the way Adam Levine presents himself to the world, Chris Martin is that internally. And so it's like when they sing, you're seeing it. You're seeing the similarities in these two. Yes, their music is so different. Yes, one is singing about the scientist and one is singing about maps. And, one is singing Fix You and the other is singing Never Gonna Leave This Bed or Won't Go Home Without You. But you still see those similarities in the way that they are, so creative and so open to sharing their unique perspective and their authenticity and singing in a way that's true to them because they may be going through the same experiences, but then there are multiple different ways to express ourselves as humans, right? And they are expressing it to multiple different ways as well. Okay, and then his rising is Virgo. So Adam Levine's North Node is in Virgo, whereas Chris Martin's rising is in Virgo. So it's disciplined, it's organized. He shows up and has it all together. He knows the way the show is going to go. While Adam Levine has that spontaneity, Chris Martin kind of has that stable grounding with how he's going to show up in a way that's integrated, in a way that's off service. And he really does, serve his crowd through his entire performance. How these artists do that, I will never understand that like adrenaline that they bring, that vibe. Oh my God, that vibe that you experience when you're in a concert, a rock concert, especially, and everybody just jamming out. It is incomparable. Okay, His Venus is in Aries, which is Adam Levine's Mercury. So the way Chris Martin loves is the way Adam Levine communicates. So I really wonder, if these two are friends. I'm sure they're friends. And after this video, I'm going to search to see if they have any interviews together, or if they have had any conversations with each other, because they were born 2 years apart. And these two are so damn similar. And then Chris Martin's Mercury is in Pisces with his sun. So that's also interesting because he's able to easily communicate what he's feeling, even though what he's feeling is often confusing because he's daydreaming. Because Pisces is very, liminal, very able to pull from different spaces, really able to channel in such beautiful ways, which is why both of these men like channel music so beautifully and express it so beautifully as well. So while Adam Levine has a fire Mercury, so the way he expresses himself is very fiery, the music is very fiery. Coldplay, Chris Martin has his Mercury in Pisces, which is much more energetic, much more like a jellyfish as compared to, let's say, uh, Adam Levine and his Aries, which is more like a tiger, I want to say. And then Chris Martin has his Mars in Aquarius. What the heck, right? So many similarities. He has his Mars in Aquarius, and Adam Levine has his Venus in Aquarius. So the way that Adam Levine loves is the way Chris Martin takes action on what he loves. And we can also see this with a lot of Chris Martin and Coldplay's music. One of my favorite ones to bring up right now is the entire Music of the Spheres album. It's crazy. Like, wow. And they're the number 9 band in the world. 76 million 500 500,071 and 731 monthly listeners. That's nuts. That's nuts. And for an artist to do that, that means they resonate with us so deeply. They understand us so deeply. And the way that they understand us so deeply is because they understand the fabric, the threads of life, of this earth so deeply that they're able to resonate with each of us. But I was watching a little video about what Music of the Spheres is about, because Music of the Spheres, I just want to look at the names of each of the songs. It's like Emoji Planet, and then emoji stars emoji, and then heart emoji for titles of songs. And then we have Higher Power and Humankind and People of the Pride and the Earth Sign. And then we have My Universe in that album, which is the song that they recorded with BTS. And how cool is it that they recorded um, a song called Music of the Spheres with a Korean band? Right, that shows you the Aquarius within them, like able to see that everybody is the same, even though we're globally from different countries, even though we speak different languages, everybody is the same, and he's able to tie that together in his work. And I'm thinking about how, like I mentioned earlier, like when Adam Levine, or when Maroon 5 have different singers sing with them and come on their album, Adam Levine kind of takes on the personality of the singer. Whereas with music with Coldplay, when artists come to sing with Coldplay, it kind of feels like they take on the vibe of Coldplay. They take on the vibe of Chris Martin rather than changing. So you see that difference between the fire Mercury and the water Mercury. And then we talked about his Mars. Oh, I wanted to talk a little bit more of Music of the Spheres. So I watched a video where it says that, where Chris Martin says it's set about aliens, but it's actually about here. So this whole album is set to be about aliens and understanding different things that aliens go through. But actually it's humans. It's just easier when we're you know, separating ourselves from it, to see it more clearly, to sing about it more clearly, to look at it more evidently. But then it's so cool that it's actually not about aliens, it's about humans, but then it's easy to think that it's about aliens. And then I found a YouTube video as well where someone kind of broke down what we were hearing in one of those songs. I guess it was the first one, the one that has the planet emoji, and it says basically, it says, and it's very muffled if you listen to the audio, but it says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Music of the Spheres. Everyone is an alien somewhere." And how cool is that, right? How beautiful is that? That Aquarius is works a lot with AI, but Aquarius also works with ETs and anything out of this world, anything that sends in transmissions, anything like, I want to say, like satellites. So ETs and aliens, this very much lives in Aquarius territory, and we're going to be seeing more of this with Pluto moving into Aquarius. We're going to be hearing more people sing about aliens or channeling aliens with Pluto in Aquarius, which is going to be happening on January 21st and is going to last for a good 20 years. But coming back to Chris Martin, like he has this Mars in Aquarius, which also allows him to so easily collaborate with so many different people, and also have this awareness of how to make his music, just like Adam Levine, sound different. Like they're the same band, they've always been the same band, but the first time we heard Coldplay, we had never heard anything like that. Music was not like that. And I'm thinking the first Coldplay song I heard, I feel like, was Viva La Vida. And we had never heard music like that before until Coldplay brought it out. And then it kind of started feeling like I started vibing with Mumford and Sons and the Lumineers because of that same vibe of music. And then they've changed so much, from singing like The Scientist and Fix You to like Ink, and then to Higher Power, right? Which is in this Universe album. And then every teardrop is a waterfall, you know? It's such a it's such a sad song, but it's also like it's also so dancey and it's also like so much fun to just lose yourself to. Every teardrop is a waterfall, and that's such a freaking Pisces song. Can we talk about that? Like Pisces is the ocean. It's the vast sea. It's the sea turning into the ocean. And just the fact that he says every teardrop is a waterfall, it's because with Pisces, like it's a water sign. And once it starts, it doesn't stop. It's not Cancer. It's not the beginning. It's not Scorpio. It's not the middle. It's Pisces. It's whole. It's fully encompassed. Right. And so once we access that bit of water, it's a waterfall with Pisces. And then another thing that's really cool is, and I know I've said cool so many times, but I just find it really cool, guys. But he has Jupiter in Cancer. Sorry, he has Jupiter in Taurus. So Adam Levine has Jupiter in Cancer. Chris Martin has Jupiter in Taurus, and these are both feminine and they both form a sextile to each other. So again, Jupiter is the amplifier, right? It's abundance. It's what is yeah, what is enlarged in your personality. And so for Adam Levine, it's like this need for inner nurturing because it's retrograde. It's Cancer retrograde. It's Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. And so it's a need for inner nurturing and really seeing himself and really honoring his emotions and sharing that emotions and big scale with the world. While with Chris Martin, it's about staying grounded. You know, it's about making so much money through the work that he's doing, through the music that he shares, through understanding how worthy he is. And again, interesting because while Adam Levine has Chiron in Taurus, Chris Martin has Jupiter in Taurus. So Chris Martin has something that he can teach Adam Levine about his Chiron, which is in Taurus. Chris Martin is has that energy so big, while Adam Levine is trying to embody that, trying to heal that wound. Another fascinating thing is Chris Martin has Chiron in Aries, while Adam Levine has Mercury in Aries. So the way Adam Levine communicates is Chris Martin's inner wound, inner like trying to understand like who is he really and how to really follow his own authority and his own agency. And this is such a big time for that as well. So I wonder what kind of stuff we're going to be seeing from Chris Martin and from Coldplay through the next year before the nodes shift. Because for Chris Martin, not only does he have Chiron in Aries, he also has the South Node in Aries and the North Node in Libra. So what's happening right now for him is he's having a reverse nodal return because currently in the sky, we have South node in Libra. What we're integrating is in Libra, and what we're moving towards and what we're trying to master and bring through is Aries energy. Meanwhile, in his chart, it's he's meant to move away from this Aries energy, away from like so much me energy and bring the attention towards him and more towards his relationships with other people, the way that he allows other people to shine, the way that he allows a stage for everyone around him just by being himself. And as he at like as a Leo moon, I feel he has that ability, he has that sense of responsibility and that knowing that he inspires people, and in inspiring people he also allows a space for them to shine in a similar way. So there. So there. Some of my favorite Coldplay songs I'd love to share with you since I shared with you some of my favorite Maroon 5 songs. I love Fix You. I feel like, everybody loves Fix You. I love The Scientist and Every Teardrop is a Waterfall 100%. Charlie Brown, like I love that whole Charlie Brown album. I really like Everglow as well. And can we just talk about A Head Full of Dreams? Like nobody expected that. The way the music changed from, let's see, what was the album right before? Okay, the album right before was ghost stories, right? And ghost stories had magic, and ghost stories had midnight and ink. So that's slower, slower, slower. And then we got, when did a sky full of stars happen? I think a sky full of stars was, oh, it was part of ghost stories. So that was a bit of an introduction to, okay, something different is coming soon. And then a head full of dreams, and it's like literally head exploding, head full of dreams. Their sound, the way the instrument sounded, the way it kind of transports you to a whole different galaxy. That is what someone with Mars in Aquarius can do. They can transport you to a whole different galaxy. And so both of these men, actually, Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius. And so Pluto is going to be moving into Adam Levine's sign of love for the next 20 years and moving into Chris Martin's life force for the next 20 years. So I'm really interested to see what kind of music both Maroon 5 and Coldplay are going to be coming up with through the next 20 years. It's going to be a trip. I am sure of it just by seeing the kind of music that they've already come out with from the beginning. And so just that jump from Sky Full of Stars to Adventure of a Lifetime to something like this, something just like this, to what was it? Oh, or orphans. Um, it's just been wild. I think it's been. I'm just scrolling through. It's been crazy. Coldplay's evolution has been crazy and it's going to continue to be crazy and out of this world. And, Chris Martin himself said that music of the spheres is about learning about love and learning about what to do with people that you don't love and people that you don't get along with and people you don't want to talk to, but also the people that you want to talk to. And just what happens if a ruling is passed that you're not a fan of. And all these life problems, but then it's set in a land of aliens, um, which is just so futuristic, and that's what we see with Aquarius. Anyway, so those are the similarities of Adam Levine and Chris Martin's charts. I think it is absolutely impeccable how they have so many similarities actually, and even though their music sounds a little bit different, they kind of feel very similar, like their vibe feels similar. And I'm excited to now know why that is and how that is and what makes it that way. So I hope this has made sense to you and I hope it's excited you to. Let me know in the comments what your favorite Coldplay and Maroon 5 songs are, and maybe if you want to hear about more bands or more musicians, let me know and I'd love to share more. Thank you for being here. I'm sending you lots of love. And if you want to participate in the conversation or have any questions or just want to connect, you can reach me on Instagram at Karina the Hardest, or you can email me. My email is karinaganglani@gmail.com. I'll see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day. Sending you lots of hugs. Bye.